And I am, again, I gotta shut up. I gotta shut up because we have somebody who, again, that I just respect and admire and grew up respecting this man. And I genuinely just, I adore him. I literally love this guy. And I don't love many people, but I love this man. Mayor Rudy Giuliani, sir, it is an honor and a privilege to be joined by you. I've been talking about you for the last 45 minutes. You are
thank you.
No, thank you. You're a personal hero to me. And I don't get giddy. I don't get starstruck, but for somebody with a last name like mine, I was always like, hey, that's going to be the first Italian president you should have been. I'm just going to say that right now. I'm always going to hold to that.
Well, thank you.
Yes, but I'm from Hackensack, New Jersey to Howard Beach to the Poconos. So you, sir, have been somebody that I've admired my entire life. And I just can't thank you enough for taking the time. I know you're busy. I know you were just on the air, then on the air, then on the air. And I know you've got a lot going on. So, Mr. Mayor, I just want to welcome you to the Voice of the People USA Radio Network. We're heard worldwide, 98 countries. We're completely independent. And it's just an honor to have you. So I want to know, first off, how are you doing? I know you're extremely busy.
Well, I'm doing very well. We're coming down to the end of a tremendously important campaign, probably the most important in my lifetime. And we're trying to devote as much of our time and energy to it. I do 2 to 2.5 hours a night.
Yep.
And then I do lots of interviews. And I'm going to go to Georgia this weekend to help. Last weekend, I was in Virginia. The weekend after, I'll be in New York. I think it's the weekend after, the weekend that he does his rally at Madison Square Garden, which I think is fabulous.
Yes.
What Republican would have the guts to do a rally at Madison Square Garden?
Well, it would have been you, I'm just saying. But,
the kind of guy who can get shot and come right up and say, fight. Could you see Harris doing that?
Oh, my God.
She wouldn't know what to say.
No, she can't even put together a full sentence.
I come from the middle class.
Yes. And Donald Trump. Yes. I'm not a very big fan of Fox News any longer. I gave up on them quite some time ago, but I got to say it was brilliant to see the display last night.
That Brett Baer, who has an intellect, and Kamala Harris, who's missing any number of brain cells.
Yes, beyond. But
that's why he failed the bar exam.
I know. Mr. Mayor, before we get into your book, I just want to say that's got to be so insulting to somebody like you, who not only dedicated your life to helping, and I always say more than the people of New York, you were a hero and inspiration for the world. You were America's mayor. Yes, you were the world's mayor. You were the most popular person, public figure, in my opinion, in the entire world because of what you represented. But you have dedicated your life to helping others and fighting injustice and exposing evil and confronting evil. And I still have some people, as you can imagine, with the comments and the little rude remarks that they think lawfare isn't a thing. I guess they think the current state of our country is a beautiful thing. How do you, and you've endured so much and it's a shame. How do you what keeps it going for you that you're able to, because what's happened to you in New York and everywhere, it is vile, it is grotesque, and it is disgusting, and it's an affront on common sense and decency. But how do you stay as strong as you do and continue to be this rock and this patriot and this hero?
Because I've always been guided by my own internal conscience. And it isn't that I don't listen to other people or change my mind about things, but I'm a pretty good judge of what's right and wrong. I'm a very good judge of what's legal and illegal. And I haven't done anything illegal in my life. And then these two crazy prosecutors, they basically indicted me for acting like a lawyer.
I know.
I argued the case for my client. What was it? Obviously, I'm going to look at it in the light most favorable to him. That's what I'm supposed to do. I didn't lie. I took arguments and I made them. So I look at it as I'm useful in the sense that I can illustrate for a lot of other people who aren't heard just how unfair they are. A lot of people were treated a lot worse than me. What about all those January 6 people that were held without a trial? And the poor people were invited in by the police. You can see it on. You can see it. You can
I was
see
there.
it on video.
I know. Come in.
You know the guy who was the QAnon, whatever he was. He made me laugh. I'm sorry. He made me laugh. The police opened the door for him to go into the House or Senate chamber. They actually held the door for him.
Yes. Took picture. Like it was.
How is a guy guilty of trespass if the police opened the door for you? You go there, you give a speech, and they laugh at you. And then the fascists on top say, "Well, let's make an example out of him." And so what I believe we're fighting the right fight. Somebody has to stand up to this. Otherwise, we're going to become like the old Soviet Union, China, Venezuela. The Biden people will try to destroy you.
Yes.
If I mean, even the case, the case and the judgment against me, the lawyer who handled that for free from a big law firm was a partner of Hunter Biden. I mean, you think that was independent of the Biden people financing it? That's crazy.
Oh, that doesn't happen. Yeah.
Mayor. So I believe we are going to be vindicated in the end. So far, everything that's come to conclusion, we've been shown to be telling the truth. I brought out the hard drive. I was the one who did it. First. 4 years ago, I was accused by our crooked present president, of being a Russian agent. That was a complete lie. Wasn't corrected for 17 months. Yeah. It turns out it was absolutely legitimate, 100% legitimate.
Yep.
And I'm suing him now for slander and libel.
Good.
Suing Biden. And got to wait for him to get out of office before I can collect my money from him.
Amen. And
I represented Trump on the charge of Russian collusion. Turns out the charge was false. Trump and I were telling the truth. They were not only lying, they paid for it. Yeah. They paid $1.1 million to develop the false allegation. Biden knew about it. Obama knew about it. Harris knew about it. Hillary did it.
Yeah.
And
they're all in.
And the New York Times won a Pulitzer Prize for it. They don't even have the decency to give back the Pulitzer Prize for a false story.
No standards. No standards. And that's why now I'm going to just put it up real quick. And the links and everything are in the description of the show. We're live worldwide right now. And we have an audience of millions, thankfully, by the grace of God. But we're going to be pumping the book continuously because it's funny. It's so important that you wrote this book. But what's funny is I remember distinctly watching the shows and watching you with Steve Bannon, another one who's sitting in jail for doing nothing wrong.
He'll be out very soon. Very soon. A couple of days.
Thank God.
Can't wait to see him.
That'll be a beautiful day. Right before the election, they messed up. But this book, I mean, literally, for those who are unaware, if they live under a rock, you've been exposing this, and they literally admitted in January after the selection of Biden. And that's the other thing. The court cases. You didn't win all the court cases with election fraud. Really? Is that the fault of you? Is that the fault of a corrupt system? Because I lived in Pennsylvania at the time. I seen clear as day. And you look at Doug Mastriano, who ran for governor, and the Republican Party destroyed him. They wanted nothing to do with him because at least he was brave enough to stand up. But again, it was you at the forefront. It was you taking on and exposing these things and these injustices. And that's just indicative of you, your entire career, your entire life. And so this book, it's awesome, but it's so articulate. But the fact that you literally have been telling this story before he even entered the White House. And then what was it? Time magazine came out and said, oh, the laptop story, we knew it was true, but we wanted to cover it. We wanted to suppress it until after the election because it made
they said that 17 months after
17 months.
They first covered it up and wrote that this was the product of Russian disinformation. which was completely untrue. 51 intelligence agents, knowing that it was untrue, signed a letter accusing us of that. They still put those creeps on television, and they're big liars who literally carried out, even if you say that you don't believe that the election vote was counted fraudulently, the election was a fraud because they deprived the American people of the most critical information about 35 years of bribe taking by Joe Biden. I mean, there isn't a person in the world that could possibly believe, I mean, that China would give Hunter Biden 21 million, or Russia would give him 3.5 million. For what? For drugs?
Yeah, right.
But you don't have to guess. In the hard drive, in his own words, Hunter Biden says, for 35 years, I gave half of my income to my father.
Yeah.
Now, what the hell else do you need?
Yeah.
What do you need? I mean,
right.
And he almost doesn't have to say it. It's obvious that that's who it's for. And then he gets 8 million from the crookedest guy in Ukraine. The case against that guy gets dismissed. And there are admissions by Biden himself that he did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what he was getting paid for. He wasn't getting, the son wasn't getting paid for it. He was getting paid for fixing a case. And why was it that much money? Because the company that the guy stole is worth $40 billion.
Yeah.
The president of Ukraine got a $50 million bribe there. And that's being covered up by Zelensky, his pal Zelensky. So every time he gives Zelensky money, all Zelensky has to do is lean over to Biden and say, you want to read about the rest of the stuff you did, because Giuliani didn't get everything.
That's right. It's amazing.
But he can shake him down anytime he wants. He's got unbelievable amounts of criminal information about him and all the crooks in his country. And here we are giving him 150 billion without any controls, without any accounting. And then people say, oh, well, it's going to the military industrial complex. Well, the reason we have a Foreign Corrupt Practices Act is because of their corruption.
Yes.
I mean, that doesn't give me any comfort. It's going to them. They've been whacking up money with every country in the world since the time Eisenhower complained about them.
Yep. And that's what I'm talking. And I got to ask, I got to be bold here. And again, because I wanted you to be president in the worst damn way. But Attorney General, please.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. He's got a lot of good people. The man is my very, very close friend. My objective is for him to succeed in any role I can play in making sure that he succeeds. Last time I offered him that I'd come in and fire everybody for him.
Yeah.
Because I'm good at it when it has to be done. I did it in New York City. I mean, I just got rid of everyone that was questionable. Believe me, the government could get along with half the people that it has, except for the military. They probably need twice as many people as they have, particularly with China now having you believe that China has a bigger Navy than we do? That's completely crazy. I mean, plus Biden gave China the Bagram Air Base 400 miles from China. We couldn't have a more critical asset against China than that air base. It had just been refurbished. Longest runway in Asia. 1 hour or less from our biggest enemy. 1 hour from Iran.
Gave it to
and
him.
An hour and 20 minutes from Moscow. Yep. And that guy gave it away. It's also a country that gave him 21 million. I don't know. Is there a connection between the two?
Yeah. God forbid you point out the obvious,
Right.
It's disgusting and it's grotesque. And me being this a little nobody who just speaks very candidly and very bluntly, I'm a good Italian that looks like a leprechaun. I'm half and half. All right. People ask my last name.
It's a great combination.
Hey, it's what we're known for, right? People ask.
What a great combination.
Right? They'll literally
my goddaughters are half Italian and half Irish. They're beautiful.
See? That's the best combo. But it's always funny to me that these people just turn a blind eye to the obvious because they don't like common sense. And again, you are somebody that I'm begging and I pray to God. I pray for you, obviously, and for your family, your son, all the work that he's doing as well, really following in his father's footsteps. Thank God.
Yeah, great guy.
America needs you. And yes, we need Donald Trump, and he's building a hell of a team, but America needs you. And I just want to say, and I know we're coming up on the time here. I would talk to you all damn night. I know you've been busy and you've been on the air for the last couple of months.
I do a show that I've been doing now for 4 years. America's Mayor Live at 8:00 on X.
Yep.
Even before Leon owned it. I used to get thrown off occasionally before Leon owned it, but now I'm secure.
Yes.
And then I do another one between 7 and 8 on Frank's Speech, which is also on X. So I get plenty of exposure. We get a good audience, and particularly now, the last crunch time for the election, it's a good opportunity for me to tell people, to get people out to vote. Just go ahead and put down a list of your friends. I mean, you want to do something and you can't think of what it is because you're not involved in politics. Put down a list of your friends and make sure they vote.
Yeah.
You probably have a whole bunch of friends. The way things go now, we don't have much crossover anymore because people fight too much about politics. So our friends tend to be like we are.
Yeah.
So get them out to vote.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them get into this, like if there's going to be cheating, so why are we voting? Well, that's the way to overcome it.
Yes.
Trump is really right. You can have a large enough vote that, except in Pennsylvania, you can't overcome it. Do you know I was told that night when he was ahead by 800,000 and it was like 65% counted? I was told by 2 mathematicians, and so was Newt Gingrich. It's mathematically now impossible for them to change Philadelphia. But Pennsylvania can do miracles, I'll tell you.
Oh yeah. Mr. Mayor, we literally, my wife and I, we just left Pennsylvania in December. We now live in northern Maine on the Canadian border. It's still a little it's more America up here.
We're gonna get one. We're gonna get one vote from Maine.
One electoral vote. One electoral vote.
We may need it.
We'll take it.
I know, right? We'll take whatever we can get. But it's rough. And I came from Scranton too, so I've seen it all.
I think we're going to win Scranton without. I think the one state for sure that's easier to win with her instead of Biden is Pennsylvania, because Biden had a kind of connection to Pennsylvania. She has none. I mean, she is just the opposite of what Pennsylvania usually votes for.
Mr. Mayor, I was waiting for Kamala. I mean, she could become, go from Indian to African American. I was waiting for her to do the usual Democrat thing. I have a long history in Scranton, Pennsylvania. It's like to think Hillary was from Scranton before being from New York, of course, when it was opportune. I mean, Biden, all these people, everybody's from Scranton. It's amazing to me. But
she has a conflict of interest on reparations. Because she has a great-grandfather that was a slave owner.
Yes.
So if they do reparations, she may have to pay herself.
That's right. Well, she's got her BlackRock connections, and she's I go into everything. People don't pay attention to what goes on. And I want to say this. In the 6th grade, I did a book report on the art of the deal. It was very unpopular.
Wow.
Yes, I've loved Donald Trump my entire life. And the other person that was right there, I didn't really put one above the other. It was you. And it's because of you that I am fearless, I am bold, I am hated by many, loved by few. Most of my listeners, I think, just like to hate listen. That's okay. But I'm 18 years into doing this. I served my country. I was a cop as well. I'm also a 9/11 family, and I just want to say,
God bless you.
Now, God bless you, because you were the one, and I don't get emotional, but I could get emotional with you, because you just, regardless of everything about that, and that, all that it is and all that it was, you were the face of hope for us, and you made us feel complete. And every day I'm reminded of, no matter how hard it is, I look at somebody like you and what you've endured and what you continue to endure and what you continue to do.
I do the same thing. I look at people who have gone through more than I've gone through, and I say, look, if they can do it, I can do it. I've always used that as a way to get, even September 11th, when I came home that night, about 1 a.m, I had this new biography of Winston Churchill that somebody gave me. And I went and I read the chapters on the Battle of Britain. And I said, my goodness, if the people of Britain could go through this, we can go through it. And then I used it to motivate people. I'd say, come on, if people of Britain did this, we can do it here in New York. We don't have to give into this. We're going to come out of, we're going to show them, you know how we beat them? We showed them we're stronger.
Yes.
You attacked us, tried to destroy us. We came out of it stronger.
Yes.
Screw you.
Amen. And
well, God bless you.
No, God bless you, Mr. Mayor. And again, and I haven't seen the score. I'm a Mets fan, so I don't know what they did tonight. I'm hoping they pulled one out. Which one? Who you root? Do you want to see a
Well, I'm a
Subway
Yankees fan, and the Yankees lost. And
okay,
they're down 2-2. They're up 2-1 right now. 2-1 games.
Yeah, I know. And the Mets kind of choked last night. They got back. Everybody gets upset when they talk about the Mets. Thanks for nothing. Like we got that alone is a victory. We got to the championship game.
The Mets have won their. Given modern baseball, they've won some World Series.
They have. It's been a while.
I know. But, been a while for the Yankees too.
I know everything changed, but honestly, it's so cool.
Still be Yankees Mets.
I'm hoping that's what I want.
Could still be.
I pray to God. Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I kept you late. I hope you can come back on someday when you're
I
a little
will.
bit
I will definitely.
It's an honor. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Thank you for everything. Take care, Mr. Mayor. Buy the book, people.